Your sexual energy is very much like a currency. And what I mean by that is it is energy. And when you are going around wasting your sexual energy, it's like you're throwing away the creative energy within you, you're throwing away your potential, and you're not as powerful. Welcome back to another video. My name is Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you why sexual energy should not be wasted. There should be more intention in this process, and why sexual energy may be the missing key in your life towards you really creating what you want. Now think of it like that. Sexual energy creating. Literally, the sexual energy within us can create a human being, a baby. And knowing that, first off, knowing that that's how powerful that energy is, it's not much of a jump to know that that also goes into creativity in your own life. Now, first off, let me back up a little bit. I would say that one of the reasons I have an insane amount of energy is because I don't waste my sexual energy. Now, let me first off define as well. When we're talking about sexual energy, it doesn't mean that you can't enjoy connecting to other people, to someone else. I'm not saying like never do anything. I'm not talking about celibacy. But in general, there's an epidemic in the world where people waste their sexual energy, whether that be porn, whether that be kind of also just having mindless or intentionless connections, maybe out of compulsion. Sometimes people go out and they have sex with other people. Now, the part that's important to understand about this is that your sexual energy has a direct correlation with the amount of energy you have in life. And there was a book that I read called Think and Grow Rich. Maybe you've heard of it. It's one of the books that many millionaires say it's the one book that changed everything for them. Bob Proctor talks a lot about it, and there's a lot of other motivational speakers that talk about it. It's an old school book, and in that book, there's one chapter on something called sexual transmutation. Sexual transmutation sounds like a very esoteric type thing, but basically what it means is converting sexual energy into a power that we can then use to create what we want in our life. And when I first read it, I was like, oh, this is a pretty esoteric concept. Never really heard of this before. But then I realized something about myself. And I'm going to open up and just kind of share this. I may have shared it somewhere else before. I've done like 1,100 videos on YouTube. Which, by the way, if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel yet, click below. I share content on law of attraction, understanding how the dynamics of creating our own reality and other cool stuff like that, including videos like this. And when we talk and I look at my own life, I've always had a lot of energy, and I believe it's because until I was exactly actually 18 years old, I had never actually masturbated before. Now, I know that's kind of weird to say. It's probably very different because I think most people probably start out when they're, I don't know, like 13, 14 years old. However, I don't know why, I just didn't know how to do it. I think I tried earlier in my, when I was like 13 or 14, but I just couldn't quite figure it out. And I remember also, if you know a little bit about my past, I was in complete control over my life until from 7 to 15 years old. But even after 15 years old, I just didn't know what to do. I didn't exactly get it. And as kind of embarrassing as that sounds, it wasn't until I was 18 years old that I actually kind of figured it out, and I'm sure you can figure out what that means. And I was like, oh, a whole new world. But also, I realized that I've always had, and people ask me a lot, like, Aaron, why do you have so much energy? And maybe you've seen some of my other YouTube videos where I have a lot of energy. And I believe that it has to do with knowing that I've cultivated my energy from a younger age. I've always done it with intention. In a way. I mean, between being born to about 18 years old, never really did that at all anyways. And it kind of makes sense now that I look back. I had really bad acne when I was when I was a teenager, like really bad. Like I had to take Accutane, which is like this really harsh thing that you take that dries out your whole skin. I had like really butchered lips most of the time. However, that helped with the acne. But I think one of the reasons I had so much of it was probably because there was just a pent up amount of emotion or energy in a way. However, even now as I'm older, I understand the power of sexual energy and I use it. I do not waste it. I do not masturbate. I haven't looked at porn in probably 6-7 years, something like that. And I believe that when we do that, it lowers our energy, it lowers our frequency, especially with kind of the way that whole process is done and the dynamics of it. But in general, you'll know, just know there's so many people in the world that are addicted to porn, that are addicted to that compulsion of their sexual energy, of releasing it. And because they get a dopamine spike when they release it, which a dopamine, by the way, is the feel-good chemical, and then when we get rewarded with the feel-good chemical, it's like we keep doing it, and we keep wasting sexual energy. I have seen so many people increase their energy just by simply stop masturbating. Now, with sexual transmutation, Think and Grow Rich, the idea is that creative energy we can use and direct towards some type of goal, towards some type of intention that we may have in our life. And just think of energy and sexual energy in the form of just energy in general. Sexual energy is energy. It's creative energy. It is so powerful it can create a baby. Now, knowing that it is creative energy, when we go around and we just start, currency is also, money is also energy. If we go around and we're just giving it to random people, you can have my sexual energy, you can have it, you can have it, you can have it. And we're doing it without intention. If you go and you invest your money, you kind of do it with intention, right? If you were to share your sexual energy with someone you have a deep connection with, that's a powerful thing. And it can be powerful and mutually beneficial, but you have to be aware of your own energy, because also if you have sex out of kind of unawareness of how you are connecting to someone else in a way, with maybe someone that you don't really like being around, or someone that's energy doesn't really kind of make you feel great, then that may be also working against you. And realize that when you have sex with someone else, you are merging your energy with theirs, literally. So if you're doing it with someone that's lowering your vibration, or you're doing it with a lack of that intention, you may find that you feel drained at the end of it. So when we're talking about manifesting what we want, understand that energy that you may be wasting by watching porn a couple times a week. I mean, I know people that have said that they masturbate every single day before going to bed. That is so much energy wasted. And then they may wonder why they're tired the next day, or they have no motivation to go beyond their current circumstances. How can they? They don't have the energy to do it. There's a reason that boxers and UFC fighters claim that they don't masturbate within like a week or two of their fights. And it's because it increases their energy. They have more energy. And this is something that we can begin to apply in our own life. I promise you that if you become more aware and conscious of your own sexual energy, and rather than releasing it once you feel like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, rather than mindlessly giving it away to people that maybe you don't deep down really want in your life necessarily, doesn't really serve you, maybe use that energy for something and putting it towards a goal or some type of desire you have, some type of creative energy, some creative outlet. People ask me sometimes, Aaron, why are you able to make so many videos on YouTube? You've been doing it for 3 years. And it's because this is a creative outlet for me. When I get into these videos and I start doing this, I get into a creative flow, and then I just go. And it's what I know is easy. And it's because I am channeling that sexual energy. So in a way, you will also notice that you become a little bit more enthusiastic, a little bit more, you have more potent energy about you when you aren't wasting your sexual energy. And when you have that, guess what? You come off differently. You come off like someone that has contagious energy. And think of it even in the form of Kundalini. Some people talk about Kundalini awakenings. Kundalini, that's the energy at the base of the spine that then begins to raise up, and then it goes to that of the head. And that's a lot what sexual transmutation talks about. Sexual transmutation in the book Think and Grow Rich is about having and cultivating that energy and then bringing it up. You can literally, what you do is, there's something, if you've ever heard of it, it's called Kegels. Kegels, I think women do it mainly, but Kegels, it's like when you're going to the bathroom and you stop the flow. And when you do that, you can feel that muscle. And when you squeeze and you do the Kegel, let's do Kegels right now, everybody. I'm just kidding. When you do the Kegel, it begins to, it's almost like a pump. It's almost like a pump. And what you do is you begin to, in a way, pump that energy. And energetically, you can then bring it up your spine, and you can bring it into your heart and your head. And that's where creativity many times will then be something that's very easy. Expression will be easier. You'll have more contagious energy. You'll be able to really think about its energy and its potency. It's literally creative energy. It is energy and potency. And if you want your thoughts to have more potent energy in the direction of what you want to experience, then something I recommend doing is stop wasting your energy and instead channel that energy. Channel it. Now, when I say that as well, have a definite outcome of something you want to experience. Imagine that version of you that you would be in that experience and decide that that's who you are now. Use that creative energy to literally create yourself in that new way. So that's the key to really bridging these two worlds. And understand that the more you embody this new level of you, this new type of energy, the more you'll find that you then go in a timeline that you really want to experience. Now, don't be hard on yourself if you have certain intentions and you give in a way, because that guilt will only keep you in that lower vibe. But be aware of your own sexual energy. And when it comes to someone else, you can still share that with someone else, but just do it with intention. Do it with intention, because that's your sexual energy. And just like you wouldn't go down the street and just toss money everywhere and just kind of flick it at people, in the same way, don't waste your sexual energy and just throw it out at different people. And instead what you do is you cultivate that. You invest that energy. Invest it in yourself, in your own creative outlets. Invest it with someone that you have a special connection with. But don't throw away your sexual energy, and don't throw away currency, which is money or abundance, or which is also energy. So with that being said, I have another video on NoFap, which I will link below. It's on the law of attraction NoFap that goes deeper on this concept. You go and see it right here in an end card. Check that out. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. I do daily videos on this channel, and I'll be doing more on this topic as well. And as always, peace, much love, and namaste.